Good morning. This is the first tape out of a couple that I'm going to make that's going to cover the same issues, some hardliner issues concerning the Bible, interracial marriage. I'm going to work through this pretty quick. You have to have a Bible. You have to have a Holy Bible, like something like this one. It can be either a Catholic version or it can be a King James version. It doesn't matter. It's in both of them. So I'm going to tackle this very quickly. I'm going to attack it and we're going to knock it down. Ready? Interracial marriage. I'm going to start with the Old Testament and move quickly into the New Testament. There's several places throughout the entire Bible, Genesis all the way through. Let's start with Genesis chapter 1 verse 11 through 20 through 21, 24 through 25, when God created all living things and he commanded every creature to bring forth after its own kind. After its own kind. Now animals were created this way. They were given this instinct by God to last forever. What's that mean? That means that robins fly with robins and catfish spawn with catfish, trout with trout, species with species, dogs, cats with cats, and so on. Bumblebees with bumblebees. Certain types of people, certain types of people. Mixing caused the flood. Genesis chapter 6 verse 1 through 7. The sons of God looked upon the earth and seen that the daughters of man was beautiful, and took all they wanted for their wives, and bore giants upon the earth. Well, this intermixing pissed off God and provoked him to destroy the entire world. And before he'd done that, he said he was sorry he ever made mankind. Pretty serious. He spared Noah. He built the ark. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And this intermixing resulted in a breakdown of mortality. And that's what goes, that's what happens. Now the origin and separation of the races, look at Genesis chapter 9 verse 18 through 10 through 32. And after the flood, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Fathered 3 racial groups which migrated to different continents, which were all caused by the flood. Now Ham, mind you, in Hebrew means dark. Okay, and also I want to give you a little footage that Ham is also Canaanite. See, when you read the Bible, kin means bloodline, and clan can mean they're married into the bloodline. And so Ham must have been married into the bloodline wrongfully during the time of Genesis 6. Somewhere. Because he was, after he committed the sin in Genesis chapter 9 verse 24 through 27, Noah got up, woke after being drunk, and cursed be Canaan, and his son Ham was charged to be a servant of servants and to his brethren forever. So God created a race and a purpose for every man. Let's move quickly into the Tower of Babel. Everybody knows Babel. Genesis chapter 11 verse 1 through 9. And he confused the tongues there to separate mankind, because he's building a tower to heaven. So again, it disrupts man's attempts to be together and separates us again. Now, the mixed race is incompatible with each other if you read Genesis chapter 12 through 25. Abraham's Egyptian handmaid, Hagar, gave birth to Ishmael, and Sarah, the purebred line, and the covenant with God was that they was going to have a kid through the bloodline, which was Sarah. And anyway, so the boys were from different lineage, and they were incompatible. And God had Abraham send Hagar with Ishmael away again to form a separate people. Ishmael, the Arabs, and they're still fighting today over this, but that's what God did. Again, separation of lineage, blood, purity. Okay, racial purity is sought of God's covenant with the people. If you read Genesis chapter 24, verses 3 through 4, thou shalt not take a wife unto my son Isaac of the daughters of the Canaanites. Remember, the Canaanites are dark ones, among whom I dwell. But these shall go into my country and to my kindred, and take unto my son. Okay, and then Genesis chapter 28, verse 2. Arise, Jacob, go to the house of Bethel, thy mother, father, and take thee a wife from hence of the daughters of Laban. Once again, keeping the lineage, keeping the bloodline straight. Now, segregate in different people are predetermined. If we read Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, the nations are in the womb, speaking of Esau and Jacob, and two manner of people shall be separate from the bowels. Now, the mixing of even a strand was forbidden. If you read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19, thou shalt not let the cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow the field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingle of linen and woolen. And then you have Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 9 through 11. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Surely such purity of a strain would apply to God's master, creator, or creation, I should say. Segregated worship is divinely inspired order. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard, that's what it says, a bastard is one born of illegal parents, like half Israelite and half Canaanite. Shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. And I want to make a note that bastard in Hebrew means mixed. In Hebrew, bastard means mixed. Amalgamates could be saved, but not worshipped with the pure-blooded. You got to remember. Now, intermarriage is forbidden and punished and prevented by segregation. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 through 3, neither shalt thou make marriage with the Canaanites. Joshua chapter 23, verse 12 through 13. If ye cleave unto these nations and make marriage, God shall no longer drive out any of these nations before thee. Now, if you want punched in the face, if none of this makes any sense to you, you can read Isaiah chapter